Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you a few changes we've made to the process for doing the quality control for opportunities and time, a couple things that should hopefully address some of the breakdowns that occurred last time we did quality control on these things, and also speed up the process significantly to make it easier for you guys. So first things first, opportunities. So I've created a new sheet for both the opportunities and time, kind of like how we had for the what we had for the offers last week, to make it easier to enter your information, so you're not wondering about what all you need to put in a communication. So you'll enter all the results into these two sheets. So here's the opportunities sheet. I've put it at the end of the same file that we've been using for the QC so far. Basically, each column is, there's one column for each of the fields that we want you to check. So I've just put a few opportunities into here so far, but this will get populated with the real opportunities that you'll need to check once we have the QC version of iCentral updated for next week. So for each opportunity, same as last week, check the status, stage, and stage detail. And then for the amount, either say yes if it's correct or you've changed it to be correct, or if the subsidiary is incorrect. So this one isn't going to be one where the subsidiary is incorrect, but let me just show you that just to clarify. Oh, actually it is. So we actually found for this one, it should be in dollars, but the subsidiary is Europe. So for this one, you would want to select in this field, wrong subsidiary. That way we know the subsidiary is incorrect. Okay. So then for the practice area and operational area, same thing as last week, but then in operational area, if the operational area isn't in NetSuite, like it's not in the drop-down menu, this drop-down menu, then you'll select not in NetSuite. Now, if it's something like it says human resources, but in the menu there's an option that says HR, you can just go ahead and select the one that matches. Okay, so then same thing for these other fields, sales team, and making sure the owner is the owner of the project in iCentral is the primary. Just go ahead and check in NetSuite to make sure it's correct. So here it's Alan's here, and let me just make sure. Yep, he's the only person on this one, and he's the owner, and its primary is checked. There are a few where some of the projects, some of the opportunities, you may have to add somebody or change the sales rule, or the wrong person is listed as primary. So then you'll want to check the checkbox or change the rule according to whatever you need to do to make a match iCentral. Okay, and then finally the contact. Now we did have some confusion on this last time we did the QC. So if the contact on the relationships tab is not, if it's not there, then you'll want to type it into here and link it. So what you would do is say search for this contact, set the role to primary, and then hit attach. Now, if it's not in here at all, like you search for the name and it doesn't show up, that means that contact isn't in NetSuite. You don't need to add the contact. Just select not in NetSuite here for the contact to let us know that that the signer of this opportunity isn't in NetSuite, it needs to be imported. Don't go ahead and add it yourself. You don't need to do that. Okay, so that's basically it for opportunities. Still pretty much the same process as last week, just clarifying a few things and setting up this sheet to make it easier for you to add your responses. Okay, now on the time, So for time, the entries, the fields that we need for the missing activities are the consultant, the project, the activity, the date, and the time. So here's a couple sample entries of the results that we want to see. We know that last week the instructions weren't so clear on what all you needed to send back as far as information, so we've set up this sheet to make it easier for you guys to enter the information that's missing. Okay, so I'll just walk through the process quickly again, just to give a refresher. In iCentral, go to Reports, Time Reported, and then just expand the report for the person that you're looking at. And back in NetSuite, Insigniam Operations, Reports, Time Reported. We can leave that. And same thing here, expand, and then expand into the project. In both places, you'll have to click expand the unassigned here too. Okay, so for big projects like this, it can be a little difficult to sort through everything and compare the activities. So something you can do in iCentral to make it easier is to export all of this data. So you go to File, Export Records, and you probably want to save this as something that so that you can identify what the file is. And make sure the type is set to Excel. You can ignore this page. Okay, and so here it's already showing the fields because I already set this up before I recorded this, but basically you want to export the fields in the order that the columns are set up on the QC sheet so that once you figure out which activities are missing, you can just copy everything over into here and you don't have to type it all out again. So those fields are the consultant name, that's staff name, full, first, last, then the project name, then the activity, which in iCentral is called time reported events subject, then the date and the time. So time, there are a couple fields in iCentral that are for time, but you want to pick the one that says days, bill, tiers, all. Okay, then we export and we find our file. There we go. Okay, so once it's exported, since in NetSuite the entries, the time entries are listed starting from the most recent and then going back, you want to sort this sheet the same way to make it easier. I think it may already be like that, but sometimes when you open the reports it might not be already sorted. So go newest to oldest. Okay, yeah, it was already sorted, but just in case it isn't sorted that way. Okay, and so an easy way to pick out which rows you need to copy over is to add another row beside it, and then you just compare back and forth, and the rows where the activity is missing, you just put an X next to it. Now, I'm not actually comparing, but I'm just doing this to demonstrate, putting some X's, and let's just pretend the ones that are X'd are the ones that where the activities are missing. Then you can sort again, but you can sort by the first column, and then all the X's will go to the top, and you can just copy all of these over and paste it into here, and there you go. All the activities that are missing for this project are copied over, and then you didn't have to type everything out. So hopefully that'll save you a lot of time, especially on these big projects where you might have a lot of activities that you need to go through. For smaller projects where there are only, say, 4 or 5 activities, it might not be worth the time to export, but it might. So that's up to you, just a tip. especially for big projects like this. Okay, so there's a method that should hopefully speed this up a lot, and the rest of the process for checking the time is the same as last week. Okay, so there you go. So use these two sheets and use the new processes that I've gone over in this video, and hopefully it'll make it a lot more efficient. Great. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I'll try to answer your questions to make sure this work goes as smoothly as possible. Thanks.